Hello students, my name is Niyati Said. Thanks for watching Edupedia Word videos. My topic for the presentation is Phylum Aschelminthes. Turn your frustration into fun with your online tutor Niyati Said. So let's proceed towards our topic, that is Phylum Aschelminthes. The term Aschelminthes has been derived from two Greek words, that is eschos, means cavity, and helminthes means worm. Together it means animals with internal body cavity. Okay, this eschel means cavity and helminthes mean together it means animal with internal body cavity. Okay, the member of this phylum, they occupy all habitable spaces of the earth. Body of the Aschelminthes is circular in cross section, hence the name is roundworms. Okay, they are freely living, they are aquatic, they are terrestrial, they are parasitic in plants and animals. Okay, they have organ system level of body organization. They have bilateral symmetry, they are triploblastic in nature, they are pseudocoelomates animals. Pseudocoelomate animals means the one which has false body cavity. Okay, pseudo means false and coelom means cavity, so they have false body cavity. Their alimentary canal is complete with a well-developed muscular pharynx. Okay, excretory tube removes body waste from the body cavity through the excretory pores. Okay. Now come to its characteristics. Characteristics is that a roundworm have elongated, cylindrical and vermiform body with tapering ends. Okay. Body is unsegmented but may be wrinkled. It is distinguished into two regions. Body unpigmented, being either white or with a yellowish tint. Okay, this is the representation of phylum Aschelminthes. Okay, as you can see that their body is unsegmented. Okay, they have elongated, cylindrical and vermiform body with tapering ends. This is its end, which is tapering. Body is unpigmented, being either white or with a yellowish tint. Okay. Caudal end of the body is generally straight in female but coiled in females, and the males are generally shorter than females. Okay. Anterior cephalization is not prominent, therefore the body is without any definite region. Okay. Mouth terminal is surrounded by lips. As you can see that this is its mouth, and this mouth terminal is surrounded by its lips. Okay, in strongyloids the lips are modified into teeth. They are known as leaf crown. Okay, in strongyloids it is a you can say that it's a subclass of phylum Aschelminthes. In that the lip is modified into teeth known as leaf crown. Okay, aphids and papillae are the main sensory organs present in phylum Aschelminthes. Okay, body is covered by rough resistant cuticle. As you can see, this is the cuticle. Okay, this is the outer layer of phylum Aschelminthes. Body is covered by rough resistant cuticle having bristles, spines, warts, etc. Sometimes cuticle is modified as cephalic and cervical cuticle and in the form of vesicle. Okay. Cuticle in the strongyloids is modified into an umbrella-like form known as bursa. Okay. Bursa is a strongyloid that is modified into an umbrella-like structure, which is generally supported by muscular ray. Okay. The layers of the body wall, they are generally made up of cuticle, subcuticle and epidermis and muscle layer. Okay, which are the four layers of body wall. First is cuticle, that is the outermost covering. This is the outermost covering, and just behind cuticle there is a subcuticle or that is known as epidermis, and the third or the inner one is known as muscle layer. The cuticle is generally of keratin, which allows only glucose and urea to come in. Okay, the cuticle, which is the outermost covering of phylum Aschelminthes, that allows only glucose and urea to come in, and that is made up of keratin. Keratin is a protein which our hair and nails are made up of. Okay, epidermis, or you can say that subcuticle, is synovial, where they are usually divided into 4 sections. In 4 longitudinal cords, 1 dorsal, 1 ventral, and 2 lateral in portion. Okay. Body cavity is pseudocele. That means their cavity is pseudocele. Okay. That means they have false cavity. Digestion tract is very well developed. Generally, it is made up of mouth. This is mouth. This is buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, and are various type of intestine and anuses. This is intestine and this is the anus. Okay. Protonephridia, which is a primitive kind of kidney, you can say, is absent in phylum Aschelminthes, but the excretory system is made up of canals or gland-like organs. Okay. In phylum Aschelminthes, their sexes are separate. That means testes and ovary are tubular and coiled. Usually there is a single testis. The ducts from the testis open into the cloaca, and the cloaca is aeronated with accessory structures such as circular spicules. Okay. Ovaries, oviduct, and uteri are double layered. Okay, their life cycle is very complicated. You can say maybe with or without intermediate host. Okay, they have 4 larva stages, on which third larva is very infectious. Okay, so it was all about the representation of phylum Aschelminthes. Now come to its classes. There are 4 classes. We'll be discussing about nematodes first. The nematodes, or earthworms, they constitute the phylum Nematoda. They are diverse animal phylum inhabiting a very broad range of environments. Nematode species can be difficult to distinguish, and although over 25,000 have been described till now, of which more than half are parasitic. The total number of nematode species has been estimated to be about 1 million. Unlike cnidarians and flatworms, nematodes have tubular digestive system with opening at both the ends. Okay, their intestine is very well formed. Their body cavity is not lined by epithelium tissue. Cloaca is absent in female, as we know that the testes, they open up into the opening known as cloaca, so that is absent in females. Male and female reproductive organs are very well developed. Okay, so that was all about nematode. Now come to the second class of phylum Aschelminthes, that is Nematomorpha. Okay, Nematomorpha body is elongated, thread-like, and unsegmented. Nematomorpha, sometimes called as Gordiaceae, they are commonly known as horsehair worms or Gordian worms. They are a phylum of parasitoid animals superficially similar to nematode worms in morphology, and hence is the name. They range in size in most species from 50 to 100 centimeters long, and can reach in extreme cases up to 2 meters. Okay, it can reach up to 2 meters. Horsehair worms means Nematomorpha can be discovered in damp areas such as watering troughs, swimming pools, streams, puddles, and cisterns. Okay, the adult worms are very freely living, but the larvae are very parasitic on arthropods. Arthropod is the other phylum of animal kingdom that we'll be discussing in the later sections. Okay, So their body is elongated and thread-like and unsegmented. They are well-formed. Head is completely absent in it. Adults like free-living, and youngs are parasite in the body of crustaceans and arthropods. Cloaca is present. Excretory organ is absent, and anterior and posterior part of the alimentary canal is degenerate. Gordius is an example. Just I told you, horse hair. Okay. Now come to its third class, that is Rotifera. Rotifera, they are very transparent and microscopic and aquatic. Rotifera, commonly called as wheel animals. They make up of phylum of microscopic and near microscopic pseudocoelomate animals. Okay. Most rotifers are around 0.1 to 0.5 millimeter long. Okay, and are common in freshwater environments throughout the world with a few saltwater species. Some rotifers are free swimming and truly planktonic. Others move by inchworming along a substrate, and some are sessile, living inside tubes or gelatinous holdfast that are attached to the substrate. Okay. Rotifers are an important part of freshwater zooplankton, being a major food source and with many species also contributing to the decomposition of oil organic matter. Okay. Most species of the rotifers are cosmopolitan, but there are also some endemic species like Cephalodella vittata. So if we see its anatomy, then the apparatus is present at the anterior end. Okay, body is unsegmented and they are acoelomates. Pharynx is present with the jaw apparatus, which is known as mastax. Flame cells in excretory organs are also present. Examples is Phylodina and Bronchionus. Okay. Now come to its fourth class, that is Gastotricha. Gastotricha, they are microscopic, aquatic freshwater or marine. Okay. Gastotrichs, they are commonly referred to as hairy backs. They are commonly referred to as hairy backs. They are a group of microscopic around, you can say, 3 millimeters, just 3 millimeters. They are worm-like pseudocoelomate animals and are widely distributed and abundant in freshwater and marine environment. They are mostly benthic. That means they settle at the bottom of the seal. Okay, and they live within the periphyton, the layer of a tiny organism and detritus that is found on the seabed. Okay, the majority live on and between particles of sediment or on other submerged surfaces, but a few species are terrestrial and live on land in the film of water surrounding grains of soil. Okay. Nearly 800 species of Gastotricha have been described till now. Okay, so they are microscopic. They have unsegmented body, worm-like. They have cuticle with scales and bristles. They are paired with protonephridia, which is a primitive form of kidney. Each protonephridia is with a flame cell. Okay. And Gastotrichas have a simple body plan with the head region, with the brain and the sensory organs, and the trunk with a simple gut and reproductive organs. They have adhesive glands with which they can anchor themselves to the substrate and the cilia with which they move around. They feed on detritus, sucking up organic particles with their muscular pharynx. They are hermaphrodites. That means their sexes are not separate. The marine species, they produce eggs which develop directly into miniature adults. The freshwater species are parthenogenetic, producing unfertilized eggs, and at least one species is viviparous. Okay. Gastotrichas, they mature with great rapidity and have lifespan of only a few days. Okay. Now let's proceed towards the last class of phylum Aschelminthes, that is class Kinorhyncha. Okay, they are also microscopic and live on the benthoic regions of sea. Okay, Kinorhyncha is a phylum of small marine invertebrates that are widespread in mud or sand at all depths as a part of a meobenthos. They are also called as mud dragons. Okay, they are also called as mud dragons. Body is slightly cylindrical with 13 indistinct segments. There is no cilia in the body. Head with spine and is retractile. Excretory duct is paired with protonephridial duct and flame bulbs. Examples are echinoderms. These are the examples of phylum Aschelminthes. So this comes to an end. Hi everyone, my name is Niyati Said. Thanks for watching Edupedia Word videos. My topic for the presentation is Animal Kingdom. When you look around, you will observe different animals with different structures and forms, isn't? As over 1 million species of animals have been described till now, the need for classification becomes all the more important. The classification also helps in assigning a systematic position to newly described species. Animals are characterized being multicellular and eukaryotic. Classification of animal is about organizing organisms into groups. As you can see that they are arranged in groups. Members of a group have shared characteristics, or you can say that is common to all the members of that group, and it is this character that defines the group. There are about 1.2 million species of animals which are identified till now, and there are almost 9 to 10 million species of animals on Earth. This huge population of animals create importance for the need of classification. Classification helps in assigning a systematic position to newly described species also. Okay. Now come to basis of classification. There is a difference in structure and form of different animals, isn't? There are a few fundamental characteristics that are common to various organisms. The features are arrangement of cells, body symmetry, nature of coelom, patterns of digestive, circulatory and reproductive system, arrangement of cells in germs layer, segmentation, notochord. These are the features that forms basis for animal classification. Okay. Though all members of Animalia are multicellular, all of them do not exhibit the same pattern of organization of cells. For example, in sponges, the cells are arranged as loose cell aggregates. That is, they exhibit cellular level of organization. Some division of labor or activity they occur among the cells. In coelentrates, the arrangement of cells is more complex. Here the cells performing the same function as arranged into tissues. Hence it is called as tissue level of organization. A still higher level of organization, that is organ level, is exhibited by the members of Platyhelminthes and other higher phyla where tissues are grouped together to form organs. Each is specialized for a particular function. In animals like annelids, orthopods, mollusks, echinoderms, and chordata, organs have associated to form functional systems. Each system concerned with a specific physiological function. This pattern is called as organ system level of organization. Organ system in different group of animals, they exhibit various patterns of complexities. For example, the digestive system in Platyhelminthes has only a single opening to the outside of the body that serves as both mouth as well as anus, and this is the reason they are called incomplete, because they don't have separate openings for mouth and anus. A complete digestive system has two openings, mouth and anus. Similarly, the circulatory system may be of two types. Open system, in which the blood is pumped out of the body, and the cells and the tissue that are directly bathed in it. Okay. Now the closed system. Closed system in which the blood is circulated through the series of vessels of varying diameters. For example, arteries, veins and capillaries. Okay. So in summary, level of organization are of four types. Cellular level. In these animals, the cells are arranged in the form of loose cell aggregates. This kind of cellular organization is seen in sponges. Okay. Now come to tissue level of organization. Cells of the animals, they show division of activities among themselves. Cells performing the same functions are arranged as tissues. For example, coelentrates. Okay. Now the organ level of organization. Tissues of the animal, they perform similar functions. They are grouped to form organs. Each organ is specialized for a specific function. For example, Platyhelminthes. Okay. Now come to organ system level of organization. In animals, where organs have associated to form functional systems, where each system is concerned with a specific physiological function, they are said to exhibit organ system level of organization. For example, annelids, arthropod, mollusk, echinoderms and chordata. Okay. Now come to symmetry. Symmetry, animals can be categorized on the basis of their body symmetry. Okay. The arrangement of body parts around a central point of line determines the symmetry. Okay. First is asymmetry. Second is radial symmetry. And third is bilateral symmetry. First, we will be discussing about the asymmetrical symmetry. Okay. Asymmetrical symmetry, they cannot be divided into equal halves through median plane. Okay. Or you can say that some animals cannot be divided into two equal halves along any plane passing through the center of the organism. Okay. Asymmetry is the complete absence of symmetry. For example, sponges. Now come to radial symmetry. Radial symmetry, animals are said to exhibit radial symmetry when any plane passing through the central axis of the body divides the organism into two identical halves. As you can see that it's dividing into two equal halves. So examples are coelentrates and echinoderms. We will be discussing about these phyla later in the later section of this chapter. Okay. Now come to bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry, animals where body can be divided into identical right and left halves. They are said to be bilaterally symmetrical. For example, annelids and arthropods. Okay. See, you can see that only one plane can divide the organism. This is the bilateral symmetry and this is the radial symmetry. Bilateral symmetry, only one plane can divide the organism into the equal halves. For example, annelids and arthropods. Okay. Now come to body wall, or you can say that embryonic layer arrangement. Okay. Diploblastic animals. Body wall of animals are arranged into two embryonic layers, an external ectoderm and internal endoderm. Okay. Accordingly, animals are diploblastic or triploblastic. An undifferentiated layer mesoglia is present between the ectoderm and endoderm. Okay. Those animals in which developing embryo has 3 germinal layers, mesoderm in between ectoderm and endoderm, are called as diploblastic. Okay, so if we were to summarize it, then diploblastic animals in which the cells are arranged into 2 embryonic layers, they are known as diploblastic animals. Diploblastic animals have an external ectoderm and internal endoderm. Okay, the middle mesoglia is the middle undifferentiated layer present between outer ectoderm and middle mesoderm. For example, coelentrates, okay, or cnidarians. In cnidarian, C is silent, okay. Now come to triploblastic. Sorry, I missed out triploblastic, but I'm explaining here. Triploblastic animals are those whose cells are arranged in 3 germinal layers: the outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, and the 3rd germinal layer, mesoderm, which is in between outer ecto and inner endoderm. For example, Platyhelminthes to chordates. Okay. Now, Phylum is a cavity between body wall and a gut wall by mesoderm. Okay, the presence or absence of a cavity between the body wall and the gut wall is important characteristic for any classification. Phylum is the body cavity that is lined by the mesoderm. There are 3 types of animals which are based on the type of phylum: coelomates, pseudocoelomates, and acoelomates. So, acoelomates, animals in which the body cavity is absent, they are known as acoelomates. For example, Platyhelminthes. Then comes the pseudocoelomate, animals in which the body cavity is not lined by the mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present in scattered pouches in between the ectoderm and the endoderm. They are known as pseudocoelomates. For example, Aschelminthes. Okay. Now come to coelomates. Coelomates, animals that possess the body cavity which is lined by the mesoderm, they are known as coelomates. Okay. For example, annelids, mollusks, arthropods, echinoderms, and chordata. Okay. This is representation of coelomate, acoelomate, and pseudocoelomate. Okay. In acoelomate, they have ectoderm, they have tissue filled region that is mesoderm and endoderm. Okay, and in coelomates they have body covering that is ectoderm, they have tissue filled region that is mesoderm, and they have digestive tract and coelom. And in pseudocoelomates they have ectoderm, tissue filled region mesoderm, digestive tract, and pseudocoelom. Okay. Now we will discuss about the segmentation. In some animals, body is segmented externally and internally. Okay, that means body is externally and internally divided into segments with a serial repetition of at least some organs. For example, in earthworms. Okay, the body showed this pattern called metameric segmentation, and this phenomena is known as metamerism. Okay. So, in summary, some animals, the body is externally and internally divided into segments with a serial repetition of at least some organs. For example, in earthworm, the body shows this pattern called metameric segmentation, and the phenomena is known as metamerism. Okay. Now come to notochord. In some animals, during embryonic development, a mesodermally derived rod-like structure is formed on the dorsal side. This is known as notochord. Animals with notochord are known as chordates, and animals which do not form notochord, they are known as non-chordates. For example, from Rotifera to echinoderms. Okay. So this is a classification that coelom is divided into three: acoelomata and eucoelomata and pseudocoelomata. In acoelomata, no body cavity, mesenchyme or fills in the space in the body wall. Pseudocoelomata, which has a false body cavity, pseudocoelom, body cavity is not lined by mesoderm, and in eucoelomata, the true body cavity coelom, body cavity is lined by mesoderm. Okay, and eucoelomata is again divided into two: protostomia and deuteroistomia. Protostomia, in which blastopore, which is a layer of embryo that becomes the mouth, and in deuteroistomia, where blastopore becomes the anus. Okay, example of protostomia are phylum Annelida, where earthworm belongs to, and the second example is arthropod and mollusk. Okay, and example of deuteroistomia are echinodermata and chordata. So this comes to an end. In this in the next section we will study all the phylums in detail. Thank you.